就是全球气候暖化，它那个
Global warming, in addition to rising temperatures, has led to extreme climate or unusual climate events. The frequency of this occurrence will increase as this phenomenon will be seen around the world.
A UN survey of abnormal climate, war, and economic depression found 53 countries affected, impacting 113 million people around the world. This has led to severe food shortage, like the Mongolian region, where there are severe challenges.
In the past, there were more than 30,000 wells in Mongolia. This is the main source of water for herders, but now these wells are almost all gone.
There was no snow this winter, leading it to be very dry with a lot of dust and no grass to harvest.
In the past 100 years, the rising temperature of Mongolia has been nearly 3 times the global warming average. Because of the high temperature, 90% of the local rainfall evaporates in the atmosphere, and the average rainfall has reduced by 7%. The climate is dry and the land becomes degraded. Mongolian pastures cannot grow anything, making agricultural development difficult.
Because of Mongolia's harsh weather conditions, to grow crops in the winter, they have to depend upon greenhouses.
Grass doesn't grow in moderate to severely degraded land just because of lack of water, but because the land has lost its resilience.
Nearly 2/3 of Mongolia's population suffers from mild and moderate food insecurity, and another 1/5 of the population faces serious food insecurity. It is estimated that in 2050, Mongolia will become a country with extreme food shortages. Extreme weather has an impact on food crops in various countries. Even the world's second largest rice exporter, Vietnam, couldn't be spared.
Previously, northern Vietnam would have one typhoon once a year, but in recent years, we encounter 3 or 4 typhoons.
The total amount of rainfall around the world is not much different, but it has become unevenly distributed. When rains end, the rest of the time is a dry period without rain. Floods and sometimes droughts have caused seawater to seep into soil in Bến Tre province, Vietnam. The soil of the Mekong River has experienced severe salinization.
Bến Tre province has 12,000 square meters of farmland, which had no harvest.
Nó héo ở trong cái mình mẹ, nghĩa là nước không tốt và bị gió đây. Cái lúa này
When it comes to harvest, the plant looks like normal, but it is almost all empty.
Và khi nó héo vậy, nó đưa cái đồng lên thì toàn bộ những hột lúa này nó chắc không hết.
Poor harvest means citizens will have little food to eat. Many here have to rely upon groundwater, but if the land is salinized, they have to rely upon rainwater.
Dạ, cái nguồn nước này nhà con sử dụng là lấy từ trên nóc nhà mưa, nó chảy xuống.
Rainwater is first collected from the eaves and then this pipe brings it to this water tank.
Chảy vô trong đây thì cha đặng để mình dùng mình nấu ăn á, nhiễm rồi nấu ăn không có được. Nấu canh.
The water stored in the water tank is used to cook rice.
Villagers in Bến Tre have to endure a dry season, which may last for more than half a year. They build this small capacity water storage by themselves, which is a 500-liter water tank, but it isn't enough.
Clean water is the basis of a healthy diet, but the greenhouse effect makes the water cycle very uneven.
Climate change has had a great impact on the salt industry. If there's too much rain, we can't produce salt. If it is too dry, salt production will be too much, and we can't sell it. We are stuck in this position.
The United Nations pointed out that in Vietnam and other countries in recent years has experienced an unpredictable climate, leading residents to fall into a predicament. In the southern province of Vietnam, in just 10 years, salt fields have reduced from 90 hectares to 20 hectares. While the salt industry has been hit hard, the biggest victims of extreme weather are farmers.
Extreme climate phenomena was something that was not often seen before, but it happens very often now.
On May 26, 2019, Hokkaido's high temperature reached 39.5 Celsius, the hottest in 127 years. But this is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Japan's extreme climate.
Here is 43 degrees north latitude, the northernmost farmland in Hokkaido. Going north of here, nothing grows. In recent years, Hokkaido is getting hotter and hotter.
Now global warming has made us figure out ways to adapt to the Earth, which should not be discouraged, as we should try to research and develop new varieties of crops.
However, agriculture cannot keep up with the speed of humans' destruction of nature, with natural disasters having dramatic impact, especially in Taiwan. In winter 2018, Taiwan's average daily temperature was 20.46 Celsius, the highest record in 72 years, and it became the fourth winter in history without cold spring. The impact of a warm winter meant crop losses in Taiwan in excess of $11.4 million, impacting more than 5,000 hectares, which was a record high. The study found before 1993 the interval between major floods was about 18 years, and the time between large-scale droughts was 15 years. However, in recent years, the time gap between droughts and floods have been shortened to less than 10 years. Not only is it becoming more frequent, but each disaster is also more pronounced.
In Taiwan, the frequency between drought and flood has basically been shortened quite a lot.
In the past century, typhoons, floods, and droughts have become the norm. The United Nations warns that by 2030, climate change will cause a sharp drop in agricultural production, putting 122 million people at risk of extreme poverty and hunger.